How long do you usually wait to say I love you? They say the 88 days you got to wait to say you love your significant other. Men take an average of 88 days to tell a partner I love you compared to a woman's 134.
This is the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard in my entire life. PsychologyToday.com can go f yourselves. I mean, what are they doing here? So the second someone says I love you, they count the days that they've known the person and then mail that information into PsychologyToday.com. This is bullshit.
Well, they say 39% of men say I love you within the first month of dating someone compared to 23% of women. So women are not going to say it because I guess women have to kind of make sure you don't have all these unforgivable things about you.
Did you ever say I love you and not get it back? I have.
You have?
I have.
I don't know. You know what the
one? But later, I got it shortly thereafter, like a week later, and then I was in a long-term serious relationship.
I never got it back, but the biggest mistake I ever made is I told a girlfriend that I loved her for the very first time during sex, and that wasn't good.
Oh.
We were having sex, and I said I love you, and she was like, are you kidding me? During sex? And that really tampered the relationship. We have 2 children now, but...
Oh, no. I was about to be like, who is this? No, I was about to be like, really? Hello. You can't call a spade here. You have issues with people saying love you instead of I love you, which I think is a little unreasonable.
Okay.
So you can't come down on her for being like the first time you tell me is during the act.
I got caught up in the moment.
I was saying goodnight in the car.
Right.
And she was getting out and I was like, all right, I love you.
Yeah.
And I love you. And it came out. I wasn't like being like, I'm going to tell her now. This is the moment. It just came out.
Right.
And I said it. And then she was like, oh, you know. And then she got out. And I remember she went in the house. And I just punched the steering wheel. I'm like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Idiot.
Dude.
You idiot. But then like a week later, it was like, you ever see that Seinfeld? Costanza says, I love you. And she doesn't.
I never seen Seinfeld.
Oh.
What do you mean?
I've seen maybe 1 or 2 episodes of Seinfeld,
really?
And it's always on in the background. I've never really seen
198 episodes.
I've never seen it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there's this episode of Seinfeld where George tells his girlfriend, the girl he's dating, I love you. And then she doesn't answer him. And he's like, oh, shit. And then later he finds out that she's deaf in this ear. So he's like, oh, thank God, you know. So he's like, oh, so she didn't even hear me.
Right.
So then he looks at her and he goes, you know, I know you have... You know, I know there was some trouble there. I just want you to know the other day I told you I love you. And she goes, no, I heard you the first time.
I got to watch the show.
Yeah, it's funny. It's a funny show.
Don't be a fake. Don't be a flake. Don't run away.